Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy True Inferno. Today's day is Tuesday, July the 28th. So, at this point in time, GoFest is over, but people are still feeling the effects of GoFest. You know, people are going at it on Twitter. Content creators are making videos about it and things of that nature. But first, we got some more news. August 8th is our next community day. And the featured Pokemon? Magikarp. Yeah, it's Magikarp. Now, I will admit, when I first heard of this news, I was like, really? Why? Ew. Because I got a crap ton of shinies. I got a crap ton of Magikarp. Some hundos, other 98%, maybe some 90%. I had to delete, or transfer rather, 93%ers, 91%ers just to make room, you know, in my storage. But I still have a lot of Magikarps on me. So in the feature move is Aquatail, which apparently isn't good based on what I saw so far. But I could be wrong on that. But yeah. And people are again complaining on Twitter. But I will say this though. Triple catch Stardust. That got me. I will admit. That got me. So what I'm going to do for this community day is this. I'm going to go out and spend the entire 6 hours catching Pokemon like crazy. Don't matter what it is. But at the same time, I'm not going to do a video on it. I'm not even going to live stream it because it's Magikarp. I mean, I don't think that's good content, really, since Magikarp is like the second ever shiny to be put in Pokemon Go. That is the second ever shiny to be put in Pokemon Go. Or you could say it's a tie for first with Pikachu. But either way, Magikarp. The featured Pokemon. Now I know somebody who don't have a lot of shiny Magikarp. Actually, I met somebody earlier today, not in person but online, who only have one. So if you know part of that majority, this is the event for you. Go out and get your shiny Magikarp. But for everybody else, it's like just do it for the starters. That's what I'm gonna say about that. All right, let's move on now to GoFest. So GoFest was this past weekend, and there were some people who liked it, but there were some people who don't like it. And I'm gonna tell you where I'm at the end of this video. So let's go through the bad. Let's go through the bad in terms of everything that happened. I had to make notes of this because I'm going to forget a lot of stuff here. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of bad here. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the lack of giveaways. So let me explain something to you guys real quick. For those of you who are new to the channel, my main grinding spot is the Civic Center in Dearborn. There is a grand total of 7 gyms at the Civic Center. Now, around the Civic Center, there's 4 more gyms, giving us who are there, the grand total of 11 gyms. Grand total of 11 gyms, at least. There might be 12, but I don't know. But either way, more than 10, for sure. And you mean to tell me out of Saturday and Sunday, I was there, not all day, on both days, but Saturday I spent half of GoFest there, and then Sunday I was supposed to go out there because my internet cut off. So I had to go out there and grind for day 2 for like half of that. But you mean to tell me that during those times, I only saw 1 giveaway in person, both days. And it was on Saturday. And that was it. That makes no sense to me. You know, full and darn well, that Gibble is one of the top 5 Pokemon that everybody gonna be hunting for. Gibble, Heatmore, Durant, Unknown O, and Unknown G. All of them can be shiny, and if you want to include Zangoose and Survivor, they are a close 6 and 7. But you know Gibble is one of the top 5 Pokemon everybody go be gunning for because that is a rare shiny. And you mean to tell me that we can't get a lot of giveaways? Like it was sharing the same tier 2 race spot as Alolan Executor. And I'm like, okay, yes, that could be shiny, but it's not exactly as rare as a shiny Gibble. It's not exactly as it's nowhere near a top priority as a shiny Gibble. It's really not. So the fact that me personally, I don't know about the rest of the world. I can't speak on the rest of the world, but me personally, I didn't see I rarely saw any giveaways. I didn't see any Sunday, and I only saw 1 on Saturday. And again, I was surrounded by 11 to 12 gyms. That makes no sense whatsoever. So that was a terrible idea. Really, they should only, like, from tier 1 to tier 4, there should only be 1 Pokemon spawning per tier. So that tier 1 should be Timber, tier 2 should be Gibble. Tier 3, it was between Aerodactyl or Chansey, and I probably would have went with Aerodactyl because, you know, there's some people who say they're sick of seeing Chanseys. Cruise ship. But that's beside the point. And then Tier 4, I don't know what was Tier 4. I think Machamp was Tier 4, and I don't know what the other, I wasn't even paying attention like that. So, I guess Machamp, I don't know, something with shiny possibility. Normally it's an evolved Pokemon, so I don't know what could be Tier 4. But leave the, you know, Tier 5, they straight as is, even though out of all the Tier 5 Legendaries, only one of them has shiny possibilities, but no, that's not true. 3 of them have shiny possibilities, but outside of the Legendaries, outside of the Tier 5s, Tier 1 through 4 should have 1 Pokemon as array balls per tier. And for Tier 2, that one should have been Gibble and Gibble only. Let's move on. Next on the list, oh, a lot of people are going to agree with me on this one. Out of both days, we get 3 free raid passes. So let's backtrack real quick. So you remember where we had the special event, you know, the Regigigas, where you had to pay like, I think it was $8 to take part in that event. And they gave us like a crap ton of raid passes. Like, I think it was like 10 or something like that. And then there was another special event thing where we had to pay $8 again for that. I don't remember what it was. It might have been Deoxys, as far as I know. And we had to pay, and it came with 10 raid passes. Why couldn't this come with that? You know, there should have been, in my opinion, a grand total of 20 remote raid passes that we can get for free. Or 21, if you want to go by the intervals of 3 per box thing. 21. So, or make not, but then, and yeah, and you know, and they should be available throughout both days. The reason why I originally say 20 is because 10 on Saturday, 10 on Sunday. So if you want to do it like that, then say 24. 24. So it would be 12 on Saturday, 12 on Sunday. 24. We should have got 20 to 24 free raid passes during Go Fest and not just 3. Now, there is a counter argument against that, and I'll get more to that later. But me personally, I feel like we should have had more free raid passes throughout the entire weekend of Go Fest than just 3. And then to make things worse, we had the Team Go Rocket box that was available throughout the entire weekend. Not Go Fest weekend, meaning, was it 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.? No, I mean like the entire weekend. Because it was still available even after Go Fest hours were over. And you can, and here's the key thing. They cost 480 coins, but you can buy that box as many as you want. Normally when you see a box like that, you can only buy it once, and that's it. But you can buy that box as many times as you want. So we can't get the free raid passes, but yet we got the opportunity to buy more of these Team Go Rocket boxes. Kind of greedy, if I do say so myself. But again, there's a counter argument to that, and I'll get more on that later. Now, for me personally, I already dropped $100 on Pokecoins before Go Fest, so I was pretty much straight. I had no problem doing that, so I ended up with like 29 Team Go Rocket Team Go Rocket radars. So I'm good on that front, but for everybody ain't me though. So that is kind of annoying, not to mention the fact that people had to buy remote raid passes as well. That's also annoying as well. But again, there's a counter argument to all of that. We'll get more on that later. Now, another issue that happened was that, or bad thing rather, that happened was that some of the Pokemon that was available during day 1 were taken away from day 2. So we're talking like Chinchou, which, now keep in mind, Chinchou was introduced at Safari Zone for London. So if you had a Safari Zone ticket for London, you could have got a shiny Chinchou. So Chinchou was taken away, Dratini, and this is the crazy thing. We did all that, well, Mystic did all that work just for us to have Dratini spawn at Go Fest, and they took it away for day 2. That's a major issue right there. Croagunk was taken away, Jigglypuff and Clefairy was taken away, and there was another Pokemon that was taken away as well, like for example, Mantine was taken away, you know, Pokemon that didn't have shiny possibilities. Mantine was taken away, and I can't think of what else. Chimecho was taken away, and I want to say, whichever one is, Cherom, no, I think that was still in the game. Cherom or Cherubi, whichever, the sunny one. I think that was still in the game for Sunday, if memory serves it correctly. But you get the point. Certain Pokemon that was available for day 1 was taken away for day 2. And some of those Pokemon that was taken away for day 2 had shiny possibilities. But yet, in day 2, we were still seeing Ferroseed, we were still seeing Snorlax, we were still seeing Alomomola, and I'm like, why are they still here? You remove some of these Pokemon that have shiny possibilities, but yet the ones that don't, they still here? Why? You know, we don't want to see those. Yeah, some of them were fine and dandy for day one because of the, you know, you can get multiple Stardust from catching one of those. I think it's Alola Momola, but day two, nah, we straight on that. We run shinies pretty much. Now some of you might say, oh, some of those shiny possibilities I've taken away, I already have. I completed the family and blah blah blah. So I don't care. And my response to that is this: that's you. You and whatever shiny you have does not represent the entire world. There's a lot of people in this world, and it don't evolve around you, or revolve around you. So you can't determine what the rest of the world have or what they need or don't need. So that's my response to that. So again, yeah, I completed the Machop family, and I got me a shiny Chinchilla. I got 3 shiny Clefairies, but not everybody is me. That's the point. So for them to remove some of the Pokemon that have shiny possibilities for day 2, but yet the ones that don't, they remain in day, some of them rather, they remain in day 2 makes no sense to me. So here's the thing about day 2. So day 1 was really all about the habitat and completing, you know, the special research. There's only one step that went towards the habitat. Day 2, they put all the eggs in this basket, referring to the Team Go Rocket special research tag. That's pretty much what they did. There was no habitat, there was no features, which I'll get more on that in a second. And they put all their basket like, yo, everybody go really be excited about the Shadow Legendaries and Victini. And then everything else we could care less about, because everybody go be way so excited, way too busy trying to get these Shadow Legendaries and trying to get Victini. And or trying to do as many of these Team Go Rocket Raiders as they, battles as they can. And I'm like, no, bruh, no. First of all, you can do the special research on day 2. Like, you can get out the race. It's very quick. It's very easy. I think it should take you no more than 30 minutes, to be honest. So this is a 10-hour day, and I feel like they try to put all their baskets, all their eggs in this Team Go Rocket basket, and it only take you 30 minutes to do that. So now I'm like, what are we supposed to do for the remaining 9 hours and 30 minutes? What else major will hold us over for that remaining time frame that we had? And they had nothing. So that's the issue right there. Which brings me to this point as well. No features for day 2. So day 1, we had all these cool features like, oh, if you complete this challenge, you would get extra Stardust per catch, you get extra XP per catch, you get extra candies per catch, you can send 200 gifts and open 200 gifts, but yet none of that was available for day 2. That's a problem. That's a problem. Like, we was confused. We was like, yo, are these features still going to be going on for day 2? Like, the opening 200 gifts thing, was, you know, sending out 200 gifts. Nope. Nope. It went back to normal. And I'm like, why? Now, real talk, to be honest, I felt like all the features should have been, if there was going to be no habitats for day 2, then all the features should have been available for day 2. So again, the extra Stardust, the extra XP, the extra candy, and we were able to open and send out 200 gifts. That all should have been available for day 2. And the fact that it wasn't is kind of blasphemous, if you ask me.
That is blasphemous! That is blasphemous!
So here's a spoiler that tells of my prediction. So I forgot which number this was. This was either my number 3 prediction or number 2 prediction. I'm gonna rewatch that video before I, cover my prediction video, which will be out this Friday, by the way. But one of the predictions that I got half correct was what the unknown was going to spell. I said the unknown was going to spell Gold Fest. Well, they got the gold part correct, but there was no fest. And that's the problem. We only got 2 unknown letters, G and O. And I'm like, that's it? That's all we're getting? Now granted, yeah, I can see that because their shiny forms are now in the game. So to try and get Gold Fest shinies in 2 days will be pretty hard and pretty challenging. I can understand that. But I mean, dang, only 2 letters? Like, that's nuts. That's truly nuts. And also I want to point out that I got no shiny unknowns on Sunday. I just want to throw that out there as well. But that's pretty nuts if you ask me. That's pretty nuts if you ask me. And the last bad thing about it about GoFest was the glitches. Like, oh gosh, the glitches were terrible. Do I need to remind you about my glitch while I'm trying to capture the shiny unknown? Oh, do I have to remind you guys of that again?
Oh no, it's glitching!
Not to mention the eastern side of the world, so you know the Asia Pacific region, they experience glitches. We all experience glitches when we're trying to send out gifts and open gifts during the first friendship hour because we can't open our friends list. So that's an issue right there. And I'm not the only one with glitches issues when it comes to trying to capture shinies. I've seen 2 other examples of that. And that's a big problem. That was a big problem. So it was almost like 2017 all over again. So there's that. All right, let's go on from the bad rather, to the good. So the good thing about GoFest was something that I said actually, and that is the Shadow Legendaries. So if for some odd reason, and there were some people who actually missed out on this the first time around. I don't know why, I don't know how, but they did it. They missed out on Shadow Articuno, Shadow Zapdos, and Shadow Moltres. And now they got another chance at getting those 3 Shadow Legendaries. So me personally, I have 2 of each. And they were good because the first time their CP was so low, like around the 500s and the 600. So you have to power them up big time to get them eligible for Great League. And that's just in Shadow form. You should not be purifying your Shadow Legendaries. But yeah, the first time around their CP was so low. This time they were more ready for Great League. Like the CP was much higher. It was around like 1200, 1300, 1400, whatever the case may be. None of them was over 1500, meaning that you may either need to power them up 1 time or 2 times or none at all in order for them to be ready for Go Battle League, Great League, obviously. So that was a good thing. Shadow Mewtwo, phenomenal. Straight up phenomenal. I have no problems with that whatsoever. You should not purify that, none at all. That was phenomenal right there. I like that. So we got 4 Shadow Legendaries at GoFest. That's what's up. Now here's something else that I mentioned earlier in this video, and that's the Legendary Raid Balls. So on Saturday, day 1, we got Kyogre and Groudon. Both of them shiny possibilities. Now for me personally, I got a Hundo Kyogre. I think I got 2 of them. And I got some shinies already, and I was like killing it with the shiny Groudons back in the day. So my mindset was, I don't need to do these raids. Right in a world where I want to do a legendary raid on day 1. Now, again, that's just me. That's not you. So you may like the idea of doing Groudon raids and Kyogre raids because you may not have a shiny, you may want a Hundo, whatever the case may be, and that is great. I have no problems with that whatsoever. You do you. No problems from my end. And the fact that, you know, we got legendary raid bosses and day 1 and day 2 is phenomenal. So day 2, on the other hand, we had Dialga, which is one of my all-time favorite legendaries, by the way, Palkia, Origin Form Giratina, and Ultra Form Giratina. Out of those 4, Ultra Form Giratina is the only one whose shiny is in the game. The other 3, no, not yet. But again, Dialga is very useful in Master League. I want to say Ultra League as well, and especially as raid boss, in raids rather. Palkia is useful in raids, and both Giratinas are useful in Go Battle League, Ultra League, Master League, and Origin Form more useful in raids than Ultra Form. But all 4 of the Pokemon are very useful in some way, shape, or form. Despite only one of them having their shiny forms in the game, I have no problem with the fact that they brought all these legendaries in you know, as raid bosses in GoFest, doing GoFest. I had no problem with that whatsoever. That was a good thing. Alright, so you remember how I said, like, yeah, Niantic seems to be greedy with the whole want to get 3 free raid passes, but yet you can buy as many the Team Go Rocket boxes as you want. Again, within the hours of GoFest, and even outside the hours of GoFest, because like day 2 was over, and yet I'm still buying 2 to 3 more Team Go Rocket boxes. So there's that, and then there's something else I said that's, you know, where I could say, oh, well, there's a counter argument against that. But you get the point. So here's the counter argument rather. Here's the counter argument. Out of all 4 years of them having GoFest, the tickets for this year's GoFest is the cheapest of them all. It's the cheapest of them all. And whereas, now keep this in mind, folks. The first 3 GoFests, you can only, like, there was at least $20, like 20, 25, whatever the case may be, and that's before tax. And that was only for 1 day. That was only for 1 day. 20 to 25 bucks to take part in GoFest for 1 day. This year, we get to take part in 2 days of GoFest for $15. And again, that's before tax. So you can't complain about that. You can't complain about that. Again, this was the cheapest ticket ever in GoFest history. And you get it for, and it's good for 2 days. It's not good for one, and then you have to pay another $15 for no, it's one ticket for 2 days for $15. And again, that's before tax, and that's in the US currency. I don't know what it is for you, but I bet you it was cheaper than the previous GoFests, where there was like 20 to 25 in US currency. So that's another good thing. I can understand them trying to get you guys to spend money because of the fact that the tickets were cheap in comparison to what it was like in the past. But like, I still stand by with the whole, we should have more free raid passes than that. I had no problem with them saying, oh, you can buy as many of these Team Go Rocket boxes as you want. But again, them free raid passes, we should have got more than 3. Now, the last thing that was good about GoFest is speaking of stuff that we did get for free, the number of free items that we got. So I had to look to see what everything we got. So let me read it off for you guys real quick. So we got 10 incense on day 1, 200 great balls, 2 lucky eggs, 6 incense, that's day 2, 100 regular Pokeballs, 20 max potions, 40 max revives, 30 rare candies, and that's not included Ventiti candies, 20 revives, regular ones, 20 Ultra Balls, 2 star pieces, 2 battle passes, whatever you want to call them, and 1 super incubator. Now, the 3 items, really the 4 items that was like not double digits, like the 2 lucky eggs, the 2 star pieces, and all that joint. Yeah, they could have upped that up to like 10. Real talk. They could have upped all that up to 10. Even the super incubators, bumped all that up to 10. But everything else, I had no problem with it at all. They gave us incense that could mostly last us the entire weekend. You had to buy 4 more incense to get 20 hours, but aside from that, I think it was included in the Team Go Rocket box. I don't remember, but aside from that, I had no problems with that. Now, the one thing I do want to talk about, which is iffy, and that is this: the Gibbo spawns. So there were some people who were complaining how they did not see a lot of Gibbo spawn, whether it's in the instance or in the route. I'm not one of those people, I'll be honest with you. Like day 1, I seen like Gibbo spawn 3 times in a row for me. Granted, none of them was shiny. I did not get a shiny Gibbo at all, but they were spawning pretty good for me. I seen some in the route as well on both days. Now, I will admit, the Gibbo spawn for the instance was much better day 1 than it was in day 2 for me personally, but I was still seeing them. I was still getting them. So I'm a little in between in terms of, how the Gibbo was spawning and stuff like that. Now, in terms of Gibbo spawning as a rainbow, oh yeah, they should have done a much better job with that. But in terms of spawning off of an instance and off of the route and maybe from a loaded up Pokestop, I'm right here with it, because again, that's just me. I don't know about the rest of the world. But again, for me personally, the Gibbo spawns was like, eh. Now, another thing I'm iffy about is the amount of stuff that was spawning in the route. So, really the more desirable stuff that everybody wanted, hey, let's go for my top 5 again. Gibbo, Unknown O, Unknown G, Durant, and Heatmore. And then, you know what, we're going to go, well, should we throw that in there? The Survivor and the Zangoose, I don't remember if they did this or not. And what I'm talking about is this: the Pokemon that was spawning out in the route without an instance were not those 5 Pokemon. You did not see any unknowns spawn in the route. You did not see any Durants or Heatmores spawn in the route. Now, Gibbo, you could have seen it, but it was rare. So I must actually take that off. Now, I'm not 100% sure about Zangoose and Survivor. I don't recall if they were spawning naturally on the route as well or not, or if they were instance only. But yeah, there was some Pokemon that was spawning purely out of instance only. And I'm like, no, that should not be the case. So now going back to my earlier issue that I had with them about the unknowns, how only 2 letters were spawning. Because of the fact the unknowns were not spawning in the route, and they had to spawn in line with everything else from the instance, I can see why they only had 2 letters. Again, I probably would have said just 3 or 4, but another way to fix that is to make the unknown spawn in the route, and then they could have added more letters. That would have made more sense. So in terms of everything that was spawning in the wild in comparison to what was spawning from instance only, they could have done a much better job with that. And that's why I'm iffy about that. Because there was still some good spawns that was spawning out the wild, like Rubec. That's a brand new shiny. Chinchou, now a lot of people have that shiny. You know, the Jigglypuff, I want to say that is new, but people telling me no, it's been in the game like a month or so ago. I don't recall that. Clefairy, that was another one that was spawning around. That was pretty good as well. And yeah, there was some good spawns that was spawning outside of an instance, but again, the more desirable ones outside from Gibble, we didn't get those, like the region exclusives, those and the unknown. I felt like everything should have been spawning around in addition to the instance. So, with all that said, what do I think about GoFest? So here's the thing. Everybody is treating GoFest, not everybody, but a lot of you guys are treating GoFest like it's The Last of Us Part 2. Everybody is crapping over The Last of Us Part 2. And I'm like, yeah, the story sucks, but the gameplay, based on what I've seen, I had no desire to play the game, nor do I own the game. But based on what I've seen, the gameplay looks good, and the setting looks good too. But then again, nowadays, the setting on basically every game looks good. And I was like, yeah, it's in between. It should get like a 6, 6.5 out of 10. Now, I'm not going to go that low with GoFest because despite the fact I was screwed out of an unknown shiny, and the fact that I did not get a shiny Gibble, your boy still ended up with like, 37 shinies. Throughout GoFest hours, that is. I got 2 shiny Centras, like GoFest night, outside of the hours. And I don't know how that happened, but whatever. But yeah, I'm going to have to say this year's GoFest is a 7 out of 10. I'm going to say it's a 7 out of 10. It's passable. For me, it's passable. It's not the worst GoFest ever. That goes to the very first GoFest. That one is the worst GoFest ever. Not to mention, we are getting a makeup event. So based on what I heard, it's not a makeup day, but it's a makeup event. Now, what does that mean? I have no clue. We just have to wait and see. And we don't know when it's going to happen either. Hopefully it happens in August, because keep in mind that Community Day is happening like in the second weekend of August. So it's like, that means something else might be going on later on August, which is, again, my birth month. August 18th is my birthday. So there's that. So, again, GoFest, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's passable. It's passable. That's all I'm going to say about it. So, I'm going to call it a wrap. I highly recommend you check me out on Twitch. Twitch.tv/true_the fun of the place to be. So by the time you watch this video, I will be live, maybe, possibly. I hope I had this up before I go live for Legendary Raid Hour. So yeah, join the Discord, drop your friend code in there, and then join me for Raid Hour, where I will invite you and get you down for at least 2 raids. So don't miss that. And there you go with that. And also your boy got merch. So your link to that is in the description box below. So I'm gonna call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith. Saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Here's the corner.
The cop. That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
Subscribe. Thanks, man. Do it.
After you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the bell icon so you never miss a new video or a live stream ever again. Thanks, guys.
Blue is the trainer, articulating paint. With my tongue, I done things that people said I can't. Now they ranking with the elite, but it's for the people, and victory is part of defeat. Cause when you get back on your feet, then you try again. Learn from mistakes, show them that I got what it takes, and I'm dying to win. I'ma hit and move away.